My name is Alex Barnum. I am making this video to show my growth as a reader and a writer during the 2013 to 2014 school year. I will demonstrate several areas of learning and experience I have gained in my American Literature course. I'd like to start with Standard RI2, which is determining a claim. After receiving instruction on the different parts of a claim, I am now able to dissect a claim and understand what point the writer is trying to convey. I am also able to make a clear and precise claim of my own in my own writing. Here you can see I have used logos, which is logic, ethos, which is ethics, and pathos, which is feeling, to make my claim. In this first example of logos, I use logic by telling the reader that they have to make an informed decision. They need to have all the information by saying, people who would oppose this statement may need to know the pros and cons of students having and using iPads for the purpose of education. In this next example of ethos, I bring up the ethical portion of my claim. While discussing distractions, I point out there are ethical issues to keep in mind by stating, these distractions result from students sending messages in class with the iPads, taking pictures as well as playing games and downloading unnecessary apps in class. This lets the reader know that we are about to explore both sides of the argument and that those arguments involved are ethical situations. The final part of my claim deals with pathos, which is feeling. In this claim, I express a feeling that is critical to the iPad debate, which is, iPads are a distraction for many students. This lets the reader in on a possible new idea and gets them thinking. Using these skills will help me in college as well as in my future career, because I will be able to have logic, ethics, and feeling in my writing. The second area of growth is from the Transcendence Standard on W2C, which focuses on forming perfect paragraphs and organizing details using the most logical strategy. After learning this standard, I was able to compile information in a way that makes sense to the reader. I will use a paper I wrote from my history class to explain. A perfect paragraph has 4 parts. The first is to say it. What is the paragraph about? Here I have said, Greek mythology is an important part of history. The second paragraph element is to explain. I have done so by mentioning that the stories told and written are spread and used in art such as pottery, statues, paintings, and carvings, and buildings. This information supports my claim and as to how Greek mythology is important. The third part of a perfect paragraph is support. The next sentence offers more support to my explanation by stating, Greek mythology has found its way into aspects of culture around the world. This gave my paragraph more structure and allows the reader to get more information about my explanation. The final part of the perfect paragraph is, so what? This part of the paragraph lets the reader reflect on the information and sums it all up. I have finished my paragraph by saying, the stories were so well written and told that you could find small references in all parts of history. This sentence includes the statement as well as references to my explanation and support. I am now able to organize information into logical paragraphs that help my readers understand what I am writing. This will help me in college when I need to organize information for papers. The next artifact is an extended metaphor essay. It comes from the Transcendence unit and has the learning target W2A introductions. I had to write an essay using figurative language. In the beginning, I had trouble using figurative language and coming up with an idea to start with. Once I had decided on a topic, it became easier to start the introduction. I am now able to write a proper hook, define my topic, give appropriate background, and make a claim. This is shown with a society gives its governing body authority to act on its behalf. Without support from the society it governs, the government cannot survive. Authority is a chair. It needs legs to stand. I will be able to write proper introductions in college that will be gripping the reader's attention, or be able to write reports in my career that clearly states the topic. My next artifact is my extended metaphor essay, and it comes from the Transcendence unit. It has the learning target W2K conclusions. The essay is an expository essay using metaphors. I had trouble summing up what the paper was about, but learned how to reword my introduction using details I used throughout the body of my paper. I learned to reword my claim, synthesize my evidence, and write a so what. I learned to use rhetoric and expand on consequences. Support, balance, and structure while working together will keep the government strong as it should be. Support, structure, and balance all play their part on the design of a society. Authority has many legs, and so does a chair. Governments could all learn a lot from a chair. In the future, for college and career, I will be able to leave the reader with an assurance of what stand I am taking, what facts support it, and the consequences of these actions. My fifth artifact comes from the Transcendence unit. Standard W2J deals with the tone of the writing. Using a formal tone makes the flow of the paper uniform and easier to understand. In my extended metaphor essay, I had to pay close attention to the tone of the paper. It has always been difficult for me to write without putting words like I or me to show my opinion. My strategy was to report the information rather than try to tell a story. In the essay, an example of keeping a formal structure is: a structured authority leads to a productive society due to the fact that everyone has the same expectation of how things are going to work. Before, I would have used words like us and we to describe society, because I am a part of society. Using formal tone allows the reader to associate with the issues and not with me. This will help me in college because I will be able to separate myself from a topic and allow for non-judgmental decisions in my writing. In my career, I will be able to present both sides of an argument or issue to allow the reader to decide. My next artifact is my extended metaphor essay from the Transcendence unit. It has the learning target RL5, which is determining word meaning. The extended metaphor essay is a perfect example for this learning target. It was written using figurative language. It was really hard to say something without actually saying it. Comparing and contrasting things is sometimes quite difficult. In this essay, government is compared and contrasted with the government. The chair legs together keep the chair upright, which if one fails, they all topple. Another important part of government is balance. Figurative language is used in many poems in college and will help me to understand them. It could also help me with a job or help describe things in different ways to clients or bosses. My next artifact is from our Courage unit. Standard W1E, dealing with evidence, showed me to use supporting evidence to help my claim. An example of this is found in my summative essay. foretold world destruction and impending doom. My statement, one possible way that could happen, would start with Earth going dark after 8 minutes, causing plants the inability to photosynthesize, resulting in the production of oxygen to slowly stop. Gives evidence to the claim that the sun going out could cause panic. Using evidence in college writing will give my work more strength and structure. Evidence in my career could make a stronger argument for the proposal or a raise. My next artifact is an essay on the book A Walk Across America. It is from the Transcendence unit and has the learning target W2H transitions. I have learned to use other words to state the something that has a stronger or more definite meaning. My growth is shown within the essay. In the second paragraph, I used the word then, which to state stronger, the word next could have been used. In the third paragraph, I actually did use the word next. Using transitions makes statements stronger and keeps them from using the same words over again. In college and on the job, I can use transitions to show meaning and not be so repetitive. My ninth artifact comes from the Courage unit. In my essay, Foretold World Destruction and Impending Doom, I had used standard W1F, which is details. Details are key facts or statistics in the text. For example, the entire highlighted paragraph here gives details of what would happen to Earth if the sun were to go out or blow up. Things like drifting conditions for life and even the structure of the planet. Using details like these will help me explore more in college and better help me to inform my readers. In my career, details will help others make an informed decision. My artifact is an essay on the adventures of Huckleberry Finn. It is from the Courage unit. The learning target is RL1, making and supporting a point. In the essay, I had to write about Huck Finn by making and supporting a point, determining a theme, and summarizing the text. Making and supporting a point was hard. I had to use details that were in difficult parts of the story. Racism and slavery was inferred by Jim's wife and son, who were sold to someone in a neighboring county, and they were not allowed to see each other. This will help me on the job and at college while reading to find out how the author may feel about what they are writing about. I have learned many different standards to improve my writing and reading this year. I have learned how to make a claim, support it with evidence and details. I have learned to refute opposing viewpoints and explain my point of view. I have learned how to form conclusions and analyze writing and structure, all of the while paying close attention to formal structure and grammar. This course will help me succeed in future classes and my career because I now understand how to make an argument and support it in a clear and concise way.